Hello, welcome to my first ever playthrough. Today we are going to be playing Crimson Company. This is a game that's mostly a two-player game, but in the most recent collector's box, the rulebook came out with new modes, including a solo mode, which is what we are going to be trying out today. So let's get the components ready. So the rulebook with the solo mode rules, which I've already read through, so I'm going to set it to the side. We could be using this nice board, but I cannot fit it into the camera, so we'll have to do without it. So here we have base game and the two expansions. We are going to be playing with the base game content for simplicity's sake. I already excluded some of the cards that would have a different effect in the solo mode, but if needed, we'll just use more cards from the other side expansion. We are also not going to be using the castle variant, so we are just going to use the straight up castles with no powers. And that's basically it. So in order for you to be able to see, I'll set here 3 lanes, 1, 2, 3. Let me center it better. I'll put the coins over here. All right. So the rules reference. I won't be explaining the standard game, but I will be explaining how you play the solo mode. So this would be the normal game where you would have income phase, recruiting phase, deployment phase, and scoring phase. Basically, in the solo mode, you don't have a recruiting phase. So how it works, you set the deck face up because you can always see the first card coming through. Let's shift it a bit more so that you can see them. Then on your turn, you'll pick 3 cards. And what you're going to do is you're going to select one of these cards to be played in by you and 2 of these cards to be played by the Raiders. That's basically the team you're trying to defeat. How these cards work is that they have a power, 1, and an ability. It's the same on both sides. And you're going to select one, you would play it into a lane. Then you'd play the other 2 as the opposing players. So let's pretend we would do this. Whenever a lane has 4 or more cards, you are going to score that lane. You just total these values and any powers available, and whoever has the most will win the castle, moves it to this side. Whoever wins 2 castles wins the game. So the thing with the solo mode is that you will be playing 1 card and the opponent will be playing 2. So what you're trying to do is that you will use the powers to your benefit. So the opponent plays a lot of cards, but you will be the one controlling their actions. So if you can take advantage of their powers against them, you will basically win the game. So if you notice, we started with no coins in the castle. That's the easy mode, because for each coin a castle has, that will count as 1 more power for your opponent. So this card that says take 1 coin from your opponent just means that the opponent would put a coin in the castle. If we do it, we would remove a coin from the castle. This card double the strongest card strength on each side of the lane. This is pretty good, so I'll probably take that one. And then we have destroy one of your opponent's card in this lane. So what I would do if I was playing solo would be taking this 4, as it's a 4 that doubles its strength. So if this is the only card in the lane, it would be worth 8. And I'll just place it here. So now I have basically 4 power and they have 0. And now I have to play both of these cards. The only rule with the Raiders is that they will play in the lane with the least number of their own cards. So right now they are all tied and I get to make that choice. So being super smart as I am, I will play this card that would allow him to destroy one of my cards. I will play it into an empty lane so that then they try to destroy here something and they can't. Then I'll play this 3, and since I want to try to win this lane, I will just play it on this empty lane. So they take a coin, which means they put a coin on this castle, which will make this castle stronger for them. Alright, then we move to the next turn. We would draw 3 cards. Check any income powers that we have none right now. Let's see what we have. A 5, but that flips one of your cards in this lane. So I could actually take advantage of this for my opponent. Destruction, flip this card and move it to another lane on your side. So basically you flip it where it counts as 0, but you have one more card which might be either useful for you to score or you might be able to flip it back. And this one, flip all the strongest cards on each side of this lane. So none of this is super ideal for me, but then what I'll do is take this one, flip all the strongest card on each side of the lane. I'll put it on this lane, which means I will flip this card and flip this card because there's only one card in the lane. Then I will pick this card, flip one of your cards in this lane. I'm playing for the Raiders now. And I put it here. And since my opponent only has one card in this lane, the card they just played, they are forced to flip this. So basically that 5 is now just a 0. And then lastly, we have this Fanatic, which has power 3, and when it destroys, it gets flipped and moved to another lane. I can play it on any lane, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it on that lane where now they have 2 zeros, and I have a 4 which is doubled. So I'm doing very well in this lane for now. So next turn, still no income powers. Let's see what we have. We have a bully, power 3, destroy a weaker card than this one in any lane. It's pretty good. Gain 2 strength for each of your face down cards in this lane. That could be very valuable for him. For example, if played here, they already have 2, so that would be a power 4. I definitely don't want to have that card. And your opponent's card in this lane have 1 less strength. Oof, this is gonna be a tough choice. With this card I can basically destroy anything. Well, let's take a look at the bully here, because it says destroy a weaker card than this one in any lane. So this doesn't actually mean it's your opponent's card, so I can use this as a Raider power against himself. So that's what I'm gonna do. And for myself, I'm gonna take this one. Your opponent's card in this lane have 1 less strength. So this is only active when we score, but I'm counting on that to help me quite a bit. So I'll place it here in the middle. Now the Raider needs to play these 2 cards, and he needs to play in the lanes that have the least number of cards available. I'm just gonna put these things together so that we have more space. So the first thing I'll do is play this card here. It says destroy a weaker card than this one in any lane, and it doesn't specify that it needs to be from their opponent, so I won't target myself. I will instead choose to target the Raider with his own power and just get rid of this assassin, so they basically lose 1 power from this lane. Oof, and then this card gains 2 strengths for each of your face down cards in this lane. So if I put it here, they automatically have +4, here +2. So what I might do right now is place it here in the middle, as is tied with this other lane for the least number of cards. And basically I'm kind of giving up on this lane. They have 3, 4, and I have 3. But with my power, I will reduce each of these cards by 1, so they basically here would have, instead of 7, they would have 5, and I would have 3, so maybe I can still win that lane, or maybe I'll just forfeit that lane in an attempt to win the other 2. So still no income powers, 3 new cards. So the Undead. On destruction, you move this card to another lane on your side, so you don't even flip it, it counts as a 1. This card, move a card from any lane to another lane on its side, so basically I can move this card to any other lane, but it needs to remain on the Raider's side. And finally, we have here a card with an income power. This basically activates at the beginning of every round. And it is that you flip one of your cards in this lane. So whatever I play this, every round, I will get to choose one of these cards and flip it face up or face down. This is actually quite powerful because every time you flip a card, you will activate its power again. So you can definitely do some very neat things with this. And I need to try to get the most of it, maybe even forcing the opponent to kill himself with it. Let's see. So I'm gonna give him 2 of these cards. Well, I'm gonna go actually with something that could be counterproductive, but I think it will actually be to my advantage. I'm gonna take this one because this will allow me to, after I score one row, one lane, will allow me to move it to another lane and maybe score it before the raiders can do it. So with this destruction, I'll put it here. It's worth 1, but I'm already winning this lane. And what I'm gonna try to do is win this lane and then move this card to another lane where I'll be able to beat that lane. Then my first card I play will have to be on this lane because it only has one card. So move a card from any lane to another lane. Let's see, so basically, as I said, I'm trying to give up on this card. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play here the Chaos Mage, move a card from any lane to another lane on its side. So I'll play it here, and I will choose to move this card over here. So now I have 0-3, and the raiders have 2 cards on each lane, so they get to choose where they place that card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it over here because next turn during the income phase, I'll be able to flip any card in this lane. And that means I can flip even his own cards face down, meaning they will count as 0, which is really beneficial for me. So now I take 3 cards and I activate income powers. First, my income powers, I have none. And then the enemy's income power. And the only one it has is this one. Flip one of your cards in this lane. And I will pick up this one and flip it to a 0. So now this lane is 3-on-3, although they have a coin, so it's actually 4-on-3, but I think I can still make it better for myself. So gain coins equal to the strength value of one of your cards, then flip it. So for me, getting coins is not really that valuable because the only thing I can do is take them from a castle, and there's only one castle with 1 coin, so I might not take that one. This one is a 4, and again, gain coins equal to the strength value of one of your cards, then destroy it. And finally, if you're the leading player in this lane, gain 1 coin. So let's see what we can do. Okay, let's do it. One of your cards, then flip it. Right, I'm gonna take advantage of this card for myself. Or not. No, I'll just take these 3. So these 3, if I'm the leading player, it gives me 1 coin. So I'll put it into this lane. And now I need to play both of these on this side. I will... What will I do? I need to play on these 2 lanes. Since I'm gonna lose the middle lane for sure, I'm gonna pick up this card, gain coins equal to the strength value of one of your cards, and destroy it. So I'll pick the highest. The enemy gains 4 coins on this one lane, but it's already lost, so who really cares about that? And now I can play this card. Gain coins equal to the strength value of one of your cards, then flip it. And you know what? I will play it again on this lane. So they will get 4 more coins and flip one of their cards. So they are very close to scoring both of these lanes. Again, if there's 4 cards there. But this lane, they are winning. I'm basically conceding that lane. And this lane, I am leading. So let's see if I can trigger some scoring. Your opponent destroys one of their cards in this lane. This is not bad. Flip a card in this lane and move one of your opponent's card to another lane. Before I do that, I need to trigger income powers. I have here an income power that says, if you are the leading player in this lane, gain 1 coin. And since I'm doing it in this lane, I have 6, they have 3. I gain 1 coin, which means I steal this coin, goes away. So this castle is no longer benefiting them. And they have this power. Flip one of your cards in this lane. So let's just flip that card face down. So now they have 0, I have 6. The power of the wizard is that you flip a card in any lane. And this can even be himself. So for sure I want to give this to the raiders so that they will basically sacrifice one of their own cards. Then what I want to try to do is probably score this lane and that lane in my favor. Move on to another lane on its side. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm pretty much winning, but let's try this. I'll take the Blood Priest. It says your opponent destroys one of their cards in this lane. So I get to choose one of the Raiders cards and destroy it, and I'll just destroy this 0, doesn't matter. And now I need to play both of these cards on their side. So my first thing will be playing the Illusionist, which says move one of your opponent's card to another lane on its side. And I will opt to move the Blood Priest into this lane to assure my victory. And now the last card I have is the Wizard. There's only really one option. I need to play it on that lane because it only has 2 cards while the other ones have 3. So I can play it here and I need to flip a card anywhere. So here I said I don't care, they are gonna win that lane. Here they are already all face down. That's a 0. I could flip this one face up, but I don't want to because I already have enough power. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this 3 face down. Now we go into the scoring phase. This side doesn't have 4, not 4, not 4. But if you look here, I actually think I didn't play that well this turn because I could have done something better by moving the Undead into this lane so that it would be moved back there. But let's just go with what we have. This lane is gonna score. So I have 0 plus 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8. So I have 8 total powers plus this card, which says my opponent's cards in this lane have 1 less power. And that means that each of these, instead of being 0, it's worth -1. So they have -3 versus my 8 power, which means I for sure won this lane. Of all these cards that are face up, none have a destruction power, so they all just go into this card pile, and now I already won one of the 2 castles that I need to win the game. So we go into the next round, and I need to make sure I will win this castle, because if I win this castle, that wins me the game. And it's very, very likely that this will be the last round of the game, because if they play 2 cards, they will finish both of these lanes. So, flip all of your other cards in this lane. Oof, that could be very tough for me, so I probably want to do it in this lane, be it on my side or on their side. Each player flips one of their cards in this lane. I think we could make that work into my favor. And all face down cards on both sides of this lane have strength 3. Oof, I definitely don't want them to play this card on this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this monk into my favor, and this says each player flips one of their cards in this lane. So I go here and I pick my lowest card, this 1 card, and I flip it into the 0 side, and I play my monk. And now I need to pick one of my opponent's card and flip it, and I flip the wizard. Ooh, face down. No, that's gonna be bad. Oh, that was really bad. That was a really bad choice from my part, because this means that now I'll have to play these cards on this side. Oh my god, that was a horrible play. So now they'll play, what will they play? Let's see if we can do something with it. Oh, this is great. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this clumsy ogre into this lane. He's very strong, but he flips every other card. So I play the card here, then I flip the card that was there, the other card that was there, and he already had a face down card, which I now flip face up. And this says, gain coins equal to the strength values of one of your cards, then destroy it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna destroy that ogre. He gains 5 more coins into a castle that is by far already lost. And he plays the card here. What I gain from doing this is now that both of these lanes have have 3 cards. So I can choose where I play the second Raider card. And I definitely don't want to play this card onto this lane, because otherwise all those cards that I've been trying to flip face down, they will have a power of 3. meaning that my opponent will probably win that lane. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it here. This will trigger the scoring in this lane. For sure, my opponent wins it. So right now we are tied 1-1, and I need to make sure I win this round. So I have a 1, that's an income power, gain 1 coin, so that doesn't matter for this round, because the income phase will only trigger next round. We have the Trickster, swap this card with one of your opponent's card in this lane, this might be good. And your opponent has to move 2 of their coins into this lane on their side. So these are actually very straightforward. There's only one lane, so this power is mostly irrelevant. This power is mostly irrelevant because we won't have another round, and this lets me swap with one of my opponent's cards, and this is a 2 in the 2. So what I'll do is I'll play this on my side. Your opponent has to move 2 cards into this lane, but they don't have it. So we already have 4 cards here, so this will lead to the scoring. I will play now the Trickster, swap this card with one of your opponent's cards in this lane. I play it here. I swap these 2 actually in my favor with this 0. So now they have 4 zeros over here while I have a ton of power. And lastly, I'll play this 1 power into this lane. We go into the scoring because both sides actually have more than 4. I have 8, 10, 12, my opponent has 1. I even have scoring power, which says double the strongest strength on each side of this lane. So my strongest card is this one that has 4, so I would have another 4 strength, while my opponent would have another 1, and that means I definitely win that lane. So as you can see, I won 2 castles versus my opponent's single one, so I won the game. The solo mode of Crimson Company is always following this strategy. You are trying to use the opponent's power against himself. He plays a lot of cards, but you have to make sure that the cards he plays work in your favor. So if a card says destroy any card, that's actually a good card to give to the raiders, as you can destroy his own cards. Sometimes sacrificing a lane is a must, because you don't need to win 3 lanes, you only need to win 2. So if you can force the raiders to spend their most powerful cards into a single lane that you don't care about, but at the same time you are winning the other 2, you'll be able to score the victory. So I hope you enjoyed my first video. Any comments are appreciated. If I played something wrong, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you give Crimson Company a chance. I really like the 2-player mode and the solo mode. As you saw, it's quite fast and it's actually fulfilling. So thank you and have a nice day.